What if I told you that the secret to manifesting everything that you want isn't visualization or affirmations or even gratitude? Even though those are super powerful tools, they are part of the process. But what if the real secret is something much simpler and yet more challenging? Being authentically, unapologetically you. Because here's the thing, most people don't realize about manifestation. You are always doing it. Every single day, every single moment, you are creating your reality through your beliefs, your energy, your actions. So the question isn't whether or not you're manifesting, it's what you're manifesting and why it might feel empty, or you might be manifesting not exactly what you want. Welcome to another episode of the Live Free Lifestyle podcast. I am your host, Leah Brathwaite, and I am so excited for this topic today because I'm about to share something with you that completely changed the way that I think about manifestation. And it's probably not what you expect. So, what if I told you that the secret to manifesting everything that you want isn't visualization or affirmations or even gratitude? Even though those are super powerful tools, they are part of the process. But what if the real secret is something much simpler and yet more challenging? Being authentically, unapologetically you. Because here's the thing, most people don't realize about manifestation. You are always doing it. Every single day, every single moment, you are creating your reality through your beliefs, your energy, your actions. So the question isn't whether or not you're manifesting, it's what you're manifesting and why it might feel empty, or you might be manifesting not exactly what you want when you get it. So today we are going to be talking about why authenticity isn't just a buzzword or something nice to have. It's actually the foundation that determines whether you're building a life that fulfills you or a castle on sand that crumbles the moment you achieve it. So let me start with a truth that might surprise you. You are always manifesting. Right now, as you listen to this, you are actively creating your reality. But before we go any further, let's just clear up what manifestation actually is, because there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of buzzwords. But to manifest literally means to make evident, to come into form. So manifestation is the process of making evident the predominant thoughts, beliefs, and energy that you carry. And that is what creates your life. If you missed last week's episode on how to change your mind, you're going to want to go back and listen to that, because I tell you exactly how your thoughts are creating your reality and how to change that reality if it's not exactly what you want to see. But this isn't magic. This is alignment. Manifestation is when your inner world is creating your outer world. So your life right now, my life right now, is a manifestation of what has been going on inside. The relationships you have, the career you're in, the way you feel about yourself, all of it is evidence of your internal state. So now this is where most people get it wrong. They think that manifestation is something that you do for 10 minutes in the morning with your vision board and your affirmations. And that's not necessarily wrong, but it's not necessarily manifestation. That's more intention setting or visualization or imagining, which are all beautiful and important parts of the process. But those are really just the beginning. Those are getting the idea, but bringing that idea into form. Real manifestation is the constant stream of energy that you're putting out into the world through your thoughts, through your beliefs, through your emotions, and more importantly, through who you are being. So when you're not being authentic, when you're performing or you're pretending or you're people pleasing or you're trying to get everything perfect, or you're trying to be somebody that you think you should be, you're manifesting from this fractured place. So I want you to think about it like this. If you don't know who you really are, how can you possibly manifest what you really want? You end up manifesting what your ego thinks will make you worthy, or what fear thinks will keep you safe, or what your conditioning thinks will make you lovable. But none of that is actually you. And I say this because I lived this for years. I manifested the perfect life on paper, the marriage, the house, the career that looked good to everyone else. And I found myself miserable because none of it aligned with who I really was. I was actually manifesting from my wounds, not from my wholeness. And I remember sitting in my dream kitchen in this dream house that we had spent the last year basically designing and having constructed. And I'm sitting there with these tears streaming down my face thinking, I have everything I'm supposed to want. So why do I feel so empty? And that's when it hit me. I had manifested someone else's dream perfectly. I had become so good at being who I thought I should be that I had completely lost track of who I actually was. I was living this beautiful lie, not maliciously, but because I just didn't know. And my soul was suffocating. So when you manifest inauthentically, you're essentially trying to build a life on quicksand. Everything you create feels unstable because it's not really rooted in truth. So it creates this insecurity, this anxiety, this fear, this worry that it's all going to fall apart or it's all going to go away or somebody is going to find out the truth about you, even though you might not even know what that truth is. So it really is like you're building a castle in the sand. You pour all of this energy, all of this time into creating something that looks beautiful, something that's really impressive on the outside. Maybe it's like the perfect relationship. You finally get engaged and then you finally get married and then you feel like, why am I not happier than this? Or maybe it's like the dream job that you thought would be perfect, that you would be in this prestigious position and you feel like you're presenting a version of yourself that isn't really real or it doesn't really feel good anymore. Or maybe it's literally just social media that is making your life look amazing, but it feels exhausting to maintain or it feels empty inside. It just doesn't feel the way that it looks. From the outside, it's like this beautiful castle. It's impressive. People admire it. But inside you feel empty. And the moment any pressure comes, or there's a challenge, or there's a conflict, or there's a change, then the whole thing starts to crumble because there's no solid foundation underneath. The foundation is you, the real you, not who you think will be accepted or who you think will get you recognition or validation, but the you that exists when no one is watching. The you that has unique gifts and desires and quirks and things that make you who you are. When you build from that place, when authenticity is your foundation, then everything you create is solid. It can weather storms because it's built on this bedrock, not on sand. But here's what happens when we're inauthentic. We fragment our energy. So instead of having this one clear, coherent signal going out into the universe, going out into the unified field, we're sending out these mixed messages because part of us wants one thing, but then part of us thinks we should want something else. And then another part of us is afraid to want anything at all. And another part is ashamed that we don't want something that other people want for us. So the magic is that the universe responds to clarity. It responds to coherent energy, the dominant energy that you are holding inside. So when you are being authentically you, all of your energy is aligned in the same direction. But when you are being inauthentic, the dominant energy is usually some type of fear, some type of anxiety, and you'll start to notice, like, I keep creating the same thing that I don't want to have happen. And it's because that is the dominant energy, this sort of cross purpose of something underneath the surface that is really directing things. So when you're in your authenticity, when you know who you are, you're clear on what you want, that's when manifestation feels effortless. It's not without effort, but it's with less effort. That's when opportunities start showing up. That's when you attract the right people and the right experiences. So when you love yourself enough to be yourself, something absolutely magical happens. But I first want to kind of break down what authenticity actually is. And it's truly your admission of being human. Like, think about it. We're all wandering around on this big, beautiful planet, pretending that it's not absolutely wildly insane that we are living on a giant rock, hurtling through space, knowing on some level, consciously or unconsciously, whether you want to admit it or not, that the only way that we're getting off of this rock is unalive. And yet we're trying to pretend like we have it all figured out. We don't. Being human is messy. You've never lived this life this way before. So of course you're still figuring out. You're literally making it up as you go along. So authenticity is understanding this human aspect of yourself, that you are not perfect. You are not here for anybody else. You're here to discover your truth, to express who you really are. You, being human, is your authenticity. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really beautiful. You're not just a human having a random experience. You, at the core of you, are a spiritual being having a human experience. There's something divine within you. There's a spark of this infinite wisdom, this life force energy that chose to be here in this body, your body, at this time, on this spinning rock. So the truth of who you are isn't just your personality or your preferences or even the idea of the purpose that you have. Those things all matter. But the truth of who you are is actually so much more magical. You're literally stardust that became conscious, a piece of the universe that woke up and decided to love and live and create and experience joy. And that's what you're here for. So when I talk about authenticity, I'm not just talking about being yourself. I'm talking about remembering what yourself actually is. You're not just Sarah from accounting, or Mike who's trying to get his life together, or even Leah who is hosting this podcast right now. You are a miraculous expression of something infinite, having a temporary human experience. So holding both of these truths at the same time, very human, but also very divine. And authenticity is saying, I don't have it all figured out. I'm making it up as I go along, just like everyone else. And I'm also this incredible cosmic being learning what it means to be human, loving from the core of my being, and expressing myself in my unique way. So it's this radical honesty of admitting that you're both just like everybody else, just a person trying to figure out how to pay rent and find love and make their way through this planet, and absolutely extraordinary, a conscious piece of the universe itself, here to create according to desire, according to inspiration, and according to alignment. So when you stop pretending that you have it all together, you stop the perfectionism, thinking that it needs to be a certain way, you stop the comparison, when you stop performing like you're trying to fit into something, then you truly start to belong. You belong to yourself. And that feeling of belonging, that wholeness within yourself, gives this permission to everyone around you that comes into contact with you that it's okay to be human too. And more than that, you're giving them the permission to remember their own magic. So here's something really important that I want you to understand, because authenticity is not a destination. It's not like you figure out who you are at 25 or 35 or 40 and then you're done. That's it. That's who you are forever, and it will never change. Throughout your life, you're going to continue to uncover deeper and deeper layers of what it means to be authentic. That's the whole point. This constant evolution and growth over your entire lifetime. And so as you grow and as you evolve and you allow more of your soul to be expressed, what feels aligned may shift. You might start to notice that things that were once in perfect resonance no longer feel that way and you start to move in a different direction. So the more you know yourself and the more that you realize the power that you possess, the more you're going to manifest from your soul, from this place of alignment. And I see this with my clients all the time. Somebody will do the work to step deeper into their authenticity. They'll start manifesting amazing things. And then they'll sometimes become confused because the things that used to feel good don't feel good anymore. And they think they're going backwards. It might look like things are leaving their life. It might look like things are changing in an unexpected way, but they're actually evolving forward. And so when I first started this journey to live free, and I started to step more into my authenticity and really discover, who am I? What do I want? What do I like? And what feels like my purpose? It meant leaving things. It meant changing things. I left my religion, realizing that I had been buying into an indoctrination that I didn't fully believe in, that didn't feel true to me. And because I had made all of the decisions of my life up until that point based on what I learned through that religion, I started to question everything. And so authenticity meant being honest about my marriage and eventually leaving my marriage. And then at one point it meant starting a business. And then at one point it meant writing a book. And now it means something different as I continue to grow and expand and evolve. And authenticity to me feels like this podcast. So each layer of authenticity that you peel back is going to reveal more of your power, more of your magic, more of your purpose, which is to be fully expressed, more of what you're capable of. And in that, you will continue to manifest more and more in your life. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this and you're thinking, but I don't even know who I am, that's perfect. That's exactly where you start. Like I said, you are human. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to start peeling back the layers of who you think you should be to discover who you actually are. And here's the beautiful thing. The more aligned you become with your authentic self, the more effortless manifestation becomes, because you're no longer trying to force the universe to give you what your ego wants or what you think you should have. You're really allowing the universe to flow through you, to create through you, through your soul's desires on a much deeper level. So how do you know if you're manifesting from authenticity or from your ego? Here are some questions that I want you to ask yourself. Before you take any actions or before you set any goals, I want you to ask yourself the simple question, do I even want this? So am I doing this because it aligns with who I am, or am I doing this because I think I should, or because I saw somebody else do it, or because I was told to do it? Does this feel expansive or contractive in my body? When something is aligned or when something is in resonance, it is going to feel like truth in your body. It's going to feel like, oh, that. It's going to feel like a yes, like a deep yes. Even if it's something scary, it's going to have this opening type energy to it. When you're manifesting or you're trying to create something out of alignment or out of authenticity, there's going to be this sort of contraction feeling in your body, like this closing down. So asking yourself, if I achieved this goal, would it fulfill me, or would it just look good? Is it just something that's feeding my ego? Am I trying to prove something, or am I trying to express something? Those are all questions to ask yourself. And then you can check what it feels like in your body, because your soul communicates to you through emotion, through energy in motion, how you're feeling about something. So when somebody asks you a question, they invite you to something, how does that feel in your body? Does it feel like oh yeah, that feels good, I want to do that? Or is it like, no, that doesn't feel good? The expanded version or the aligned version will feel like you're getting energy from that. The contracted or the inauthentic version will feel like you're losing energy in that. So here's a daily practice that I love. Each morning, before you do the roll and scroll, as I call it, where you roll over, grab your phone, and start checking social media and emails. Before you jump into your to-do list, place a hand on your heart and ask yourself, who am I today? How do I want to feel today? What do I want to give today? What do I want to receive today? And how do I want to be today? Not who do I need to be for other people, not what would be the most productive or the most impressive, or how do I get something, but really, who am I? And listen for the answer. Give yourself a few moments of just connecting in with yourself before you jump to the races. Listen for the whispers. Listen for that answer. It might be kind of playful. It might be quiet. It might be bold. It might be fierce. It might be tender. So honor whatever energy is coming up throughout the day. And if you don't hear it immediately, just continue to check in as you're going through your morning routine. As you find yourself getting swept into other people's emergencies, just continue to ask yourself, who am I today? And when you're making decisions, big or small, check in with that authentic self. What does the real you say? Would the real you say yes to this? Would the real you choose this? Would the real you feel good about this? Or are you doing this so that nobody's mad at you, or because it's expected, or because that's what you always do? So the more you practice this, the more you align yourself with your authenticity, and the more aligned your manifestations become. And then the more aligned your manifestations are, the more fulfilling your life becomes. Because remember, you are always manifesting. The question is, are you manifesting from your wholeness, from your truth, or from your fears, from your wounds? Are you building a castle on sand, or are you building it on the bedrock of who you really are? Because when you choose authenticity, you manifest from wholeness. You choose to build a life that can weather any storm because it's built on the solid foundation of you. And here's the beautiful thing. The world needs you. There's only one of you. You came here to express this unique frequency that is your magic. The world needs what you have to offer. Not the polished, perfect version of you, but the real, the messy, the magnificent version of you. Your authenticity isn't just the secret to manifesting everything you want. It is your gift to the world. So stop trying to be who you think you should be and start being who you really are. Trust me, it is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. So thank you for listening to the Live Free Lifestyle podcast. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. Share it with someone who needs the reminder of their own magnificence. And remember, your soul is always guiding you home to yourself. You just have to be willing to listen. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.